These 4 predictions of 2020 were spot on, and will these next 3 happen during the second half of 2020? As we look back on the first half of 2020, we realize just how strange and astonishingly surprising the most recent events have been. But did you know that they have been anything but unpredictable? In today's video, we'll cover the top 4 most important and surprising predictions of 2020 that have already come true, made by some of the most recognized prophets of both modern and ancient times. And we'll explore other unnerving predictions that may yet come true, changing our lives in ways far worse than any virus pandemic ever will. But first, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more intriguing videos. Number 4. Worldwide economic crisis. Whenever we talk about prophets and predictions, there's one name that always comes up: Nostradamus. Accredited with having predicted human flight, September 11th, and the US economic crisis of 2008, back in the 16th century, Nostradamus also predicted a far worse crisis that would hit the entire world and crash the financial markets in 2020. Whether he associated or not with another prediction which ultimately came true, the fact is that, as of today, the world is already entering a recession unlike any we've ever seen in the past, even worse than the effects of 2 world wars and the Great Depression. Most economists today agree that there are even darker times ahead of us in the following months, with a rare economic crisis known as a deflationary spiral on our doorstep. This happens when the value of our currency increases, making prices plummet, therefore making businesses make less money, in turn making debt harder to pay. Considering that the amount of debt has skyrocketed due to the pandemic, this causes businesses to go bankrupt, causing massive layoffs, reducing consumer spending, which makes businesses earn even less money, and so on. What's creepy is the fact that back in Nostradamus' time, there was no global economy to speak of, and predicting something like what's happening today would be equivalent to us predicting life on Mars. Number 3. Computers will be invisible. At the turn of the 21st century, futurist Ray Kurzweil made a series of unlikely predictions that would come true by 2020. Even though some of them failed to come true, like having an average life expectancy of over 100 years, there was one which today seems more relevant than ever before. He predicted that computers would become invisible. Now, by invisible, he didn't necessarily mean that they were so small that we wouldn't be able to see them, but more in the lines of being so ubiquitous that we would no longer even notice they were there, basically taking them for granted, and he literally nailed it, date and all. And here's why. Does the Internet of Things, or IoT, ring a bell? Yes, you could definitely argue that this is a trend that has been evolving for years. Ever since smartphones became a thing, we moved on to smart watches, smart clothing, smart TVs, smart appliances, smart homes, smart buildings, smart cars, smart roads, smart cities, and smart everything. Every smart gadget has an embedded computer hidden from view, given away only by a sleek modern design and maybe some futuristic lights. So if computers have been hidden from view for so long now, what's so special about 2020? Well, 2020 marks the official global scale release of 5G connectivity, which is an essential element for the complete integration of this technology, since it allows big data processing on the edge for real-time feedback between different devices, also allowing them to become even smaller and even more discreet. Futurists love making tech predictions, and we all love dreaming about personal jetpacks, anti-gravity, and cold fusion. But some of the predictions futurists have made are more akin to a dystopian Orwellian future, like the next one on our list. Number 2. Your every move will be tracked. This is yet another Kurzweil prediction. The renowned futurists envision the rise of big data across the globe, converting every single gadget and device we use in our daily lives as a possible means of espionage by the government or powerful multinational companies. It's not just our every move in the sense of where we go that can be tracked today. That has been possible since even before mobile phones were upgraded with GPS technology. Today, tracking cookies in our browsers tell Google what we do online. Smart TVs and computers can secretly record, analyze, and transmit audio and video online without our consent. And AI-powered surveillance camera networks can recognize and track us wherever we go, even without us having a mobile phone. Even so, this is another example of something that has been evolving in time, but the 2020 pandemic gave it an unprecedented boost through contact tracing apps. Contact tracing may be the best way to hone in and isolate potential spread of the disease, and it's probably the best way to contain the virus once lockdown is relaxed, if we still haven't found a vaccine. But contact tracing apps give away an astounding amount of private information about where we go, what we do, and who we meet by registering every movement you make and all nearby citizens you encounter throughout your day. We sacrificed a part of our privacy for the greater good to cope with the spread. But what happens to all that data once the danger is past? Number 1. The coronavirus pandemic. Yes, you heard right. As you'll see in just a second, there have been plenty of predictions pointing to a massive, worldwide pandemic in 2020, since both old and recent times. Can you guess who made the first one? That's right. Nostradamus himself predicted that a disease would spread that would kill thousands in or around 2020, and many of his fans were more than quick to make the connection. In her book End of Days, writer Sylvia Browne, who died in 2013, predicted that exactly in 2020, a severe disease similar to pneumonia that would be resistant to any and all known treatments would spread across the globe, attacking the people's lungs and killing them. The animated TV series The Simpsons has been notorious for predicting with exceptional accuracy many important events, including Donald Trump becoming president, the twist in the plot of Game of Thrones regarding Daenerys Targaryen, and many more. But in Season 4, episode Marge in Chains seems like a cartoon version of the real year 2020 so far. Starting off with a flu pandemic originated in Asia, the arrival of the giant murder hornets into the US, and the many riots and protests that ensued either because of the lockdown measures or because of police brutality. But arguably one of the most popular predictions of COVID-19 came from the self-proclaimed teenage prophet Abhigya Anand, who in August 2019 predicted that a dangerous disease would hit the world by storm during the first quarter of 2020. This accuracy earned him a strong following on YouTube, but he lost most of his credibility after wrongly predicting the end of the pandemic several times. First on May 29th, then in July, then probably after seeing the massive spike in cases, he postponed it to September 5th. Although today he's a bit more cautious about being too specific with dates, many still pay him heed and are more than a bit worried about his other predictions for the year's end, which we will see later in this video, so keep watching. With several months still ahead of us in this year 2020, and after seeing how some future forecasters have nailed more than one prediction, it's inevitable to wonder what other predictions are there that could still come true in the coming months. Keep watching for the top 3 predictions for 2020 that could still come true before the year is up. Scary doesn't even begin to describe them. Number 3. The deaths of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Ever since the Cold War, Russia hasn't been in best buds term with the US, not even now that China is a much bigger economic threat than Russia ever was a military threat. But as one of the world's giants, whatever happens in Russia has the potential to affect us all, and both Baba and Nostradamus have made predictions that suggest there will be an assassination attempt in the Kremlin against President Putin. In terms of Nostradamus' prediction, it will be brother against brother, suggesting that it will come from someone very close to him, which would be the only really believable scenario considering how tight his security is. Baba also predicted a severe disease for US President Donald Trump, something like a brain tumor that would render him deaf and possibly even kill him. In End of Days, Sylvia Browne also predicted that the president in office in 2020 would die of a heart attack, and that the vice president would rally support and declare war against North Korea. It's a scary thought, especially once you consider the next prediction. Number 2. Rebellion in North Korea. As if Putin's assassination and Trump's possible demise weren't enough to unsettle an already nervous population, some future forecasters have been prophesizing the end of the Kim dynasty in North Korea for years, but 2020 seems to be the most popular option among them. Would Kim Jong-un's uncle lead the rebellion out of fear of assassination? Could he succeed? What would happen if he did? Or is it Kim Jong-un's sister to rule the country? Would we end up with a more trigger-happy Kim in power? It's hard to predict what the outcome of this prediction coming true would be. I guess we'll just have to wait for someone else to predict that future. If any of these predictions were to happen, a turmoil would ensue around the world, with unforeseeable consequences, one of which is also predicted for 2020. Number 1. World War III. Baba, Nostradamus, and Abigya Anand all said that a war unlike any we've ever seen is coming. But the crude reality is that it's not only them, but many international analysts and experts are also foreseeing a future in which the coronavirus crisis could be the straw that broke the camel's back in a world already on the brink of war. Do you think this is likely to happen? Did it surprise you to see that many had already predicted the life-altering events that happened during the first half of 2020? And which of these last 3 predictions for the rest of the year scare you the most? Leave a comment and join the discussion. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.